Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Hope everybody's doing well. I thought we would talk a little bit about getting some sales with Celebration starting and the occasions catalog here. So I sort of made a few notes that I thought I would run over, and then you're welcome to interject with your ideas, things that I haven't mentioned. And then because we're recording this, then I'll post it up on the Facebook page for people who couldn't make it today. I did get a couple of messages that people are at church or they have family things that they have committed to.
Yeah, I don't know how late I can stay. I'm waiting for my parents to show up, so.
Okay, yep, no problem.
That's good.
This meeting only runs for an hour. The recording only runs for an hour, and then we're shut off. So then we have to come back in again, which is a bit inconvenient, but at least it's free and it works. So, and multiple people can be on here. So let's talk about how to boost sales with the new catalogs that are out. I have just made a bunch of bullet notes in a very random order. I sat down today with a cup of tea and thought, how is it when I was back in the US that I had amazing Celebration sales? So the first thing I have is to share lots of different samples with a small number of products. So you don't have to, last month when we had the meeting, I was talking about it's not necessary to buy everything in the catalog at all. Buy what you really like and then just make lots of different samples using them. You can find a lot of ideas on Pinterest and on Facebook and in the catalog itself. Tweak them a little bit, change the colors up, change the layout, post them so that you get people excited. And I think what I have found is the more I post using specific stamp sets, the more people want to buy those stamp sets. And then of course I also save them on my Pinterest boards for people. Another idea is to do a Facebook Live or a video or a blog post or all three with your first order when it comes in. It's a bit late probably to be talking about that now, but I find that anytime I get an order, if I do a Facebook Live showing that I've opened up the box and I go through it, which is perfectly legal to do. You just can't go through the catalog until it is live. I get a lot of engagement on Facebook. And then usually then what I'll do is I'll save the link to that and I'll create a blog post so I get double bang for the buck. And it also shows people what I'm excited about. And then hopefully that's something that they'll want to order as well. Stampin' Up! Has started to come out with a lot of videos about the Occasions catalog on Facebook. So that's another way to, if you don't want to do your own videos, by all means share the link to those videos with your customers, either in newsletters or when you have clubs. Just ask them, if you have a club meeting, did you see the video that Facebook did? Again, it's just another way to get engagement and to get them excited, and saves you a lot of time and trouble on your own. Customer selector, of course. I always send an email follow-up to my customers after my catalog arrives, and then I'll just check in with them to see if their catalog has arrived as well. And then this year, because I haven't had any sales yet, I find that it's usually the third week of January that I start to get sales. And this year I want to get sales a little earlier. So I created on Canva a coupon. And I have decided for my business, I'm offering my customers free shipping on January 14th. So I'm emailing the letter and the coupon tonight, and they have to have their order to me by January 14th. And then I will place it and give them free shipping. I just want to see if I can get orders in a week earlier than I normally do. Of course, you have to determine what's good for your business and what you can afford to do for them. And I think Celebration is a really good sale or promotion as it is on its own, but I chose to do this for my customers because I'm so far away from them and I can't do a catalog launch party. I could do one on Facebook, but I can't do one live. Consider a thank you gift to get sales. What I have found is when customers place an order, an online order, I'll send them a thank you card. I'll mail them one here from the Netherlands, and I'll put in a sample of some ribbon or some paper, some accessories if they're very lightweight, like the doilies, for them to use. And I find that if I monitor that, Often they'll get very curious with the sample I provided to them in my thank you card, and often I'll see those items on their next order. Also, I try and use the same products on the card that I send to them so that they also have a sample using those products. Let's see. You could do, one thing I highly recommend is a celebration kickoff event as opposed to an open house. Many, many years ago, I did an open house, but I've been really focusing in on what some of the top demonstrators do, and they do a kickoff event and they charge for the event. Mm-hmm. And so if I was to do it again, if I was back in the US, I would do a kickoff event and charge them $15. However, if they place an order that evening, then their event is for free. And then I would do 4 or 5 projects with them. I think it also gets them really excited about the catalogs, especially if you make a display or if you have a lot of these products on display for them to see as they use them when they make their make and takes. I think they will also be very encouraged to place an order. I always found my open houses to be really successful. Generally, I got a new downline or 2. I filled up all of my clubs at those events, and then I got usually around $800 to $1,000 in orders. I also gave, for every $15 that they purchased, I gave them a little draw ticket. And then the draw was a free stamp set from the Occasions catalog with a maximum limit of $25. I would have to check the prices in the catalog to make sure that 25 is still a reasonable price and that they would have lots to choose from. But they could also choose from the annual catalog. But that also generated a lot of interest. If they signed up for a club, they got a ticket. If they placed orders for every 15, they got a ticket. Just for showing up, they got a ticket. I'm only going to draw one name. It doesn't matter how many tickets go into the bowl. I'm only pulling one. But the more they do that night, then the more chances they have of winning the stamp set. Contact your last year's hostesses. I always track who placed orders with me, and when I was in the US, I would contact those hostesses and invite them to be my first hostesses for celebration. And it's funny, I've got quite an eclectic group of customers, and I have 2 ladies when I was in the US that would have 1 event a year, and it would be during celebration. And they had a very small number of people come, which to me was a little bit disappointing, but they themselves would place a $150 order or more. So the extra that their customers added into them being a hostess meant my sales were quite worth it. So make sure that you keep track of your hostesses from last year and the year before, and contact them and see if they're interested. Another really great idea is to offer a special event in April for those people who are hostesses in January, February, and March, or if they place an order, a combined total of 150 over the 3 months. That meant that basically they would have been a hostess anyway. And then this event would be free in April, and it would be like a hostess appreciation event where you could do a few make and takes, I don't know, play some games, have some great food, and really honor them for being a hostess during celebration. You could, I mean, it depends. It's your business, so you need to run it as you see fit. But if you earn a lot of celebration products yourself, you could have them as drawing prizes, or you could use them at your hostess appreciation event. For example, the paper, the note cards, all of those items, the ribbon, you could give them little goodie bags with the ribbon in that you've earned for free anyway. So it's a really nice way to honor your hostesses. April is usually a very slow month for sales, at least in my past 20 years, it's been pitiful. So it would be a great way. And then, you know, at least you're having an event and you're honoring people, and if they may want to continue to be a hostess for you in the near future. Another way to get sales is to offer product shares. You could do a paper share, ribbon share, embellishment share, or a combination thereof of any or all of those. Make sure you price them carefully so that you're working in shipping and tax to you and your time to divide up everything. But I offered product shares at my open house or my catalog kickoff event and usually sold a few of them there, but I found my long distance customers were the ones that really liked the opportunity to have shares. I also would encourage them to buy a share or two and split it up amongst their friends as well. So it's a great way to get a sampling of everything in the catalog without having to spend all the money, but they have it to play with, which means that they'll probably want to purchase it down the road anyway, at least their favorites.
Hey, Terry,
yeah.
Can I ask you a favor? Can you maybe put how you split things up or how number of people or whatever in
Sure.
the file section? That would be helpful because I know I have something, but it's really, really old.
Yep.
And I haven't done one of those in a really long time. So
yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to do one long distance because the shipping charges would be absolutely horrendous. But yes, I'll just make a note. So
well,
yeah.
if you want to ship things here, I'll split it for you and you can buy me a goodie.
Okay. You got yourself a deal. Absolutely.
I mean, because I can cut the paper at the office really easy.
Okay.
And so yeah, I mean, I'm happy to help you do that.
Okay, that would be wonderful. Thank you very much. A new year also means it's time to take a look at your class fees. I always analyzed my class fees in December and decided whether it was worth it to continue them or to raise my class fees. And I've raised my class fees here in the Netherlands by $5 per person per class for the new year. I started out with my fees quite low because I wanted people to show up because people here don't have storage. So what I have found is they'll come to classes, but they don't want to buy. So I have to up my class fees so that I can get my time and value, knowing that I'm going to be my best customer here in the Netherlands. So, but have a look at what you're charging. And then, you know, I think it's, in the past, I would have discouraged people to waste time online looking at what other demonstrators do because it's their business and they're making their choices. But I think it's good to be competitive. So it might be an idea to have a look at what some of the top demonstrators are charging if you can find their information, and just make sure that you're being competitive for your customers as well. You don't want to undercharge so that you don't make as much money as you rightfully deserve with all the time and effort that you put in to being their demonstrator. Another great way is to start a new club. Think about the clubs that you currently run, and then at your new catalog kickoff event, try and float the idea of a brand new club. I've shared this many times, but one of the most successful clubs I had was an anything but a card club. And those people had been part of my card clubs in the past and just lost interest. And so the year that I offered an anything but a card club, lots of curiosity about it, and I filled it right away, and it ran for a couple of years. So there's lots of ideas out there. So try and figure out adding one more event each month to your calendar could make a significant difference for your business. Mail cards to specific customers. Keep track of who your big purchasers are in the past year, and it might be a really nice idea to mail a handmade card directly to them as opposed to everybody. And just say, you know, you really appreciate their business in the past year, celebrations started, here's a card that you've made using some of your favorite products, and thanks again for being such a great customer. You don't have to ask them to purchase anything, it's just an appreciation. You could, if you wanted to, you could give them $5 off, you could, you know, again, it's your business, you need to figure out and make it cost effective for you, but it's really nice to honor those customers who are your best customers. And sometimes there's only 3 or 4 of them. And the rest of the people are, you know, they come in inconsistently and they maybe purchase $20 here or there. But I have one lady who consistently puts in a $150, $170 order. So I make sure I do something extra special for her, especially during this time of year. And also just to share some new products with her and tempt her to continue to put in big orders with me. Yeah. Newsletters. Obviously, you want to keep your newsletters going for your customers. One thing that I found is really a great addition to newsletters, especially during this time of year, is to give them a PDF. My newsletters include a downloadable PDF. I only send, and this is really interesting, I used to send 5 or 6 project ideas in my newsletter. And then I joined this group of entrepreneurs who none of them were demonstrators, none of them were stampers, none of them were crafters, but they all had different businesses. And what we did was we shared our newsletters with each other. And one of the ladies said, oh my gosh, you're giving away so much information, so many project ideas to everybody. It's overwhelming. Your newsletter's way too long. I don't think I would spend the time to read all of this. And I probably would only pick one favorite project. She said, why don't you just send one project instead of 3 or 4? And at the time I thought, oh, this is really bad advice. But I thought I'll try it because it's a lot of work, right? To make all these projects and to put the newsletter together. So I just started sending one project a week, and it has not affected my open rate or my drop rate at all. So in addition to that, then I decided that I would give them a PDF. And what I do is I save my PDF. Now I don't have a Stampin' Up! DBWS blog, right? So I have a TypePad blog. But what I do is I create a PDF, I upload it to TypePad, I take the link to that newsletter, I go over to Bitly, and I make a Bitly for it, and that way I can track how many people, I don't know who they are, but I know how many people are clicking on my download link and where they are in the world. So that's been really interesting to track. I track a lot of things now through Bitly because I like to know firsthand who's, where are they. Bitly doesn't give you a lot of analytics, but I like it because it's a short link as well. And it's a way for me to know who's opening it. So consider maybe, if you don't want to give a coupon to some of your best customers, why don't you make a couple of PDFs and send those to your customers saying, hey, these are my favorite new products in the occasions catalog. I really want to appreciate you for your business in the last year. Here's a couple of project ideas that I designed especially for you. And then shoot those off to them and just tell them, you can use the products you have at home. You don't have to, I'd never say you don't have to purchase the ones I use to make this, but I always say to them, you may have products at home you haven't used that you could substitute. If not, here's the page numbers from the catalogs that I used for that. So samples and displays to share at your classes. So if you are having your regular hostess club every month, make sure that you have lots of samples on display. Even the people in the Netherlands who come to my house go over to my bureau and they look at all the cards that I've made. At some point during my class, they pick it up and they're like, oh, this is really nice. How did you make this? And so on. It also gives me a really good indication of what they are attracted to. If it's a technique, if it's a certain stamp set, they'll often get ideas for next month. Dutch people here are very, they're lovely, lovely people. I love them. But they're very assertive. So they'll say, I want to do this card next month. You should do, I don't know, birthday cards. You should do Valentine's. I had a little collection of Christmas tags out, and I had planned for 4 Christmas card classes. They totally said they didn't want another Christmas card class. They wanted tags. And they came and made 5 tags for the same price, and were thrilled with their tags. So, but they got those ideas from what was on display. And I've often found too that my hostesses, if they're not really keen on the projects that they make that day, but they see a really cool sample, they may decide to order that month using another idea rather than the one that they used at the class. So it's, again, just a way to surround them with all sorts of ideas. I've tried this idea a couple of times. For your online customers or your Facebook followers, if you want, we could, one idea that I think is really great is to do like set samplers. So if you have 1 or 2 stamp sets and you make several project ideas with them, and then you can have sort of the stamp set sitting there and all of that. Well, that's a way to do it face-to-face, and it's a lot of work for you. But if you want, we can try. I've tried this a couple of times and it hasn't been very successful. But we could do a set sampler and then just take a photo of it and upload it to the team page, and that way we would have 5 or 6 ideas for a variety of stamp sets that then we could post on Facebook without having to make the projects on our own. So think about it and then just post in the team group Facebook page if you are interested in doing that. Because I'm up for that, and I make samples all the time anyway, so I don't mind sharing them with everybody. This is also a really good time of year to consider a referral program. So in the past, what I've done is I've said, if you bring a customer new to me, I'll give you $5 off your order and then $5 off your customer's first order. It's been really successful. I had one customer who brought me 8 new people. So that's 8 new people that I didn't have to look for, and it was only $40, and you get to claim it. So, you know, you don't get back the whole amount, but it was very little work. And because she brought these 8 friends, I ended up starting another club. So over the course of a year, it was very successful. So consider that and advertise it frequently, because customers forget that all the time. So when you send out an invite for your hostess club, remind them of it. You know, when you send a newsletter, remind them of it. Tell them when you're at a class or a club, don't forget, I have my customer referral program. Because they know a lot of people that you don't know, and it saves you a lot of time. Another idea is to get one of the kits in the new catalog and put it together, or have a kit class, or do both. So we've got, I think, 3 new kits in the catalog. So consider getting one of those and putting it together and having it on display. And then ask your customers if they would like to have an additional class, and you'll show them how to put everything together. Or another idea would be to have the kit there and tell them that you're going to have a kit class. And then at the class, you're going to show them 5 or 6 sample ideas that aren't ones that they would make with the kit. So for them to bring their camera that day, or their cell phone or whatever, and that you'll let them take pictures of the additional samples that then they can make at home. So it's always trying to give them something that's a little bit better than what the kit was in the first place. You can find a lot of those ideas online on Pinterest, and they probably won't take the time to do that, so you can do that for them. A wish list is another idea. I always give with every new catalog a wish list, but particularly with these 2 new catalogs, email them out a wish list, especially the ones you sent the catalogs to. That would be another way. Like I'm sending tonight an email with my free shipping on January 14th, but then in the next couple of weeks, I'll send them another email and I'll attach a wish list for them to fill out. And probably in that email, I'll give them a couple of card sample ideas and tell them which are my favorites or something. So it's just another way to reach out, a genuine way to reach out, and you're giving them something, you're providing them with a service. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's all I had. Does anybody else have any other ideas of how you boost sales with a new catalog?
Well, I'm doing my virtual party this afternoon, so that seems to have helped in the past. And I'm doing my kickoff one. It was supposed to be on Friday, but with the weather being so iffy here, I decided it wasn't worth one of my little ladies slipping on my slick driveway if it was. So we're doing it Tuesday, and I've been really successful the last few years doing a two cards for $5, or it's free with your $50 order. And then I've done what you did before with, giving away 1 stamp set. And I haven't decided if I'm going to do that or if I'm going to do do a little sampler of accessories from the occasions catalog, which is what I usually do for the virtual party. Anything I give away, I just do a little sampler of just something little for that.
Right.
Something else I was going to ask you.
Yeah, when I had my open house, I generated so many sales that evening that whatever they chose for their free product was what I chose for free as my hostess choice. So I never had to, I was never out anymore that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and I've been really,
sorry, go ahead.
I did a lot of free shipping over the holiday, with what Stampin' Up! Did, and then I did a couple of things. Oh, I know what I did. I did if they put in an order because my December is usually bad, but my December was great. Yeah. And I did add, if they did their orders online and did use the hostess code, then I have either slipped something in their next order, because a lot of them do both, that they've been doing online orders and orders through Hostess Clubs or whatever. So if I knew I was going to see them, I put it in their little bag. And if not, I used like the free shipping day and sent people things that day too.
Yeah, that's a great idea. You know,
So
you can use the retiring paper from the holiday catalog as something to slip into their bags too. They don't care. We care because we can't use it
Actually,
anymore.
well, I need to use some of it to make the New Year's cards that I need to make to send out, because my Christmas cards never got done. So,
that was pretty good this year.
Well, you know, it's just my life anyway. Yeah, I did. I have everybody's in a basket, and I saved their envelopes, so I have their addresses. And so I'm just gonna sit down and just like cut up paper and make cheers, because I loved the cheers to the year set, and I've still got a bunch of that paper, so I'm just gonna cut it all, make the exact same card.
Yeah, this is a card that I got from one of my.
That's really pretty.
Patty, isn't that just really pretty?
That is really pretty.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And she even did a little bit of the detail there on the inside.
Oh, that's cool. I actually did some tags with that where I used my techies made them, but I used it on a package. But I did the little banner cut at the bottom, and then took that piece and put it on the back. And so then they could write on the backs of those because they were white. And so that paper was excellent for tags, and I used a bunch of it, but I've still got some. But I think that's what I'm going to do, because I need to use it up. What was I saying? Anyway, lost track of that.
No, good. Those sounds like great ideas. Do you have a lot of people coming to your virtual event this afternoon?
I think when I looked at it, I had 4 or 5 people RSVP. Sometimes I end up with like 10 or 12, and sometimes I end up with a lot. I kind of put it together last minute because of the weather, so we'll see. But the nice thing is that I used the scheduling feature, and so I've already got like 15 posts ready to go.
Oh, good.
So starting at 3 o'clock. So
good.
So that, you know, that made it easy. And I did the first hour. I have pretty much everything for the first hour. I think I'm going to add some samples and things in it. I'm going to probably go do a little welcome video, like a Facebook Live welcome video. But then my plan is I did 3 to 4, I'm showing all celebration stuff. And then 4 to 5, I'm showing all occasions catalog stuff. So that it kind of breaks it up into the two catalogs, and so that they get where I want this. What do I want to go look at so I can earn that?
The paper is fantastic. I love it. Is it Bubbles and Fizz or something?
Yes, I like that one a lot.
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
So
see, and that's not my style at all, but I'll have somebody who's going to love that.
Oh yeah.
And like, you know, and I think the pandas are adorable, but I'm like, it's not my thing, but I have lots of samples with it. So
what did you choose for free then? What was your choice?
Oh, I got the Amazing You and Celebrate the stamp set and the framelits, and I was sitting here opening ribbon while we were talking. And then I also have, what was the other thing I got? Oh, the peacock, the beautiful peacock.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So, hang on, I'll show you. You want to see my samples for Tuesday?
Yeah, I'd love to see your samples. Paula, are you still there?
I'm there, real nice and quiet.
Okay.
So here's one of the ones for Tuesday, and I basically
I like that.
And I basically just took one of the ones from On Stage that they did, and just kind of combined the two layouts and changed some colors. So I thought that was a fun one.
Yep, very nice.
And then I wanted to use up some of the designer series paper that I have from the annual catalog. So
beautiful.
With the beautiful peacock.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
And since the paper is inspired by peacocks, I thought that was kind of nifty.
Yeah. Really good idea.
Those are the 2. And then yesterday I did like 5 of my squares for my sampler, because my sampler classes have been really popular. As a matter of fact, I had to tell people, sorry, you can't come for the fall one, because they RSVP'd so late and I couldn't get any more 12 by 12 paper in what I needed. So I've got that, and I've got those about half full right now. So
at the On Stage event, I won the Bird Banter stamp set, and I was not thrilled at all, but I love it now. So I've got a few samples, and I'll post them.
Cute.
That one uses a piece of designer series paper that I just didn't like, so I thought, well, we'll try that. And then This was from one of
Yeah,
Pam's.
I love that card.
Thank you. Very
That's
quick and easy. And then this one was inspired from the catalog.
Aw,
And then this was another card map one.
Oh, I like that.
that's super
So-
cute.
So it's fun to have several different ideas using one stamp set, and especially with it's a stamp set that I won. So
Yeah.
not a lot of investment in that. So
Yeah,
the other
always
thing
nice.
I wanted to share with you was yesterday I did a Facebook Live, and I showed them that I was cleaning up, and this is the truth, I was cleaning up my craft room, and I found some of these 3x3 envelopes.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
I didn't get to watch all of it because I was in the middle of something, but
So I told them that, you know, I thought, well, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to use the Picture Perfect Birthday stamp set. And I made these little
oh,
cards. So there was
Oh,
that
that's
one,
cute.
which is very simple. And then that
that's cute.
one. And then this one.
Oh, that's cute too.
And then the last one.
Oh,
And then towards the end of my video, I showed them that they all fit into the little pizza boxes.
yeah.
And I've had over 250 people watch that video
Wow.
and lots of comments on it. So, and then I also told them, of course, that you'll make the matching envelope. But I told them, you know, one stamp set, one package of paper, and you can make a lot of really cool things. So, yeah, so I think it's good to make these little samplers, and then, you know, the Facebook Live I found was very successful. Lots of people who I didn't, you know, had never commented before, and 2 people have, you know, signed up to be on my page now. So, yeah, very good.
So I participated in swap, but I wanted to show you 2 cards. Here's the celebration card that I made.
Oh, that's pretty.
Very pretty.
And then here was the occasions card that I made.
Oh, that's pretty too.
Oh, nice. There's a little mermaid set, huh?
Yeah, it's the Little Mermaid set and that. That was fun. I will tell you with this, it was so easy to do all of the extra little stamping with the Stamparatus. Oh my gosh.
Oh, okay.
That thing is amazing.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing.
I was going through and sorting, and I find it very interesting. This is the only card that I got with the
Oh, I love that card.
It is pretty.
set in the swap. It's the only one I got with that set. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Here's a few with this set right here. Right there. I like this one a lot. It's real simple.
Yeah.
Very masculine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that guitar, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
That
nice
one.
too.
They're on their way. I like this.
Oh, I like
Yeah,
that one too.
And that was by Barb Mulligan.
Yep. We
And
got
then,
4 minutes. Just to give you a heads up, we're going to get cut off in 4 minutes.
Okay.
That's
here's
nice.
This one. So that's a couple there. I got quite a few with this set right here.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot.
Upside
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Shocking. There's lots with flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. I really
That's
like
pretty.
that one. This is Mary Ellen Byler, and I really like this card a lot. I'm upside down. Right there.
Oh, that's nice.
Ribbon got it's a little scrunched.
That was the card of the week, wasn't it? Isn't that what Stampin' Up! Is doing? They're featuring a set
I think
a
it
set
is,
of the week.
Yeah. 'cause
Yeah.
this is similar. I like that a lot too.
I love that embossing folder. It really
Yes.
embosses beautifully. The Simple Lines one, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I don't have it yet. I need. I was looking at. I missed it in the catalog, honestly.
Yeah, well,
That's-
it was just
and
a
with
quarter
this-
of a picture. Yeah, if I was near my stamping stuff, I could grab, I've made a couple of cards with it, but I'll post them on the Facebook page so you
Yeah.
can see them. Really
Those are
embossed
the- those are
beautifully.
the-
Yeah, I missed that one too.
Have. Oh, I do. I have one here with the die, and I kind of like what they kind of different there,
Yeah, that's really neat idea.
like that. Yeah. Here's that set. I like that a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of flowers.
Yeah,
And then-
Stampers like flowers.
yes, they do.
Yes. and that.
Yeah, it's why I'm not getting the lavender one. I'm like, that will sell itself. I don't need to get that one.
Yeah, I think the
It's like-
same with the panda. That's what I feel, as I think the
The
panda
set
one.
with the panda is definitely selling itself. I have a new recruit. She signed up yesterday.
Congratulations.
She hasn't signed up. She hasn't showed up yet, but she came over yesterday, and I think her mom is going to sign up under her.
Wow, that's really exciting. That's congratulations. Where did you meet her?
She actually, I met her mom. This probably back in May. Through another customer of mine that brought her to a class. And of course she's like, I'm not gonna like this. I'm not interested in stamping, but she tried it, she came, and now they're both, and she's hooked. And then she brought her daughter, and her daughter's like, I'm not crafty, I don't like to craft at all. She's like, I can't do it. And now she's like, she could not wait to sign up. She's like, I gotta wait for my paycheck.
Wow, that's great. Great news. Congratulations.
So yeah. So, and they're planning to go to Orlando, for certain.
Awesome.
In fact, that's part of the reason why her mom is going to sign up as a demonstrator too, so she can also go to on stage. And
It's going to be a big event. Oof.
I think she might try to do Atlanta, because the mom works at the same company Mike works at Griffles, and they have mandatory shutdown the week of on stage.
Oh,
So she's like, I'm going to be off anyways. I might as well go. So
Yep.
I think they're going to try to, I think
that'll
she's
be
going
nice.
to sign up.
You'll be there, right? You're going as well?
I'm planning to go to Atlanta. I am definitely going to be at Orlando.
Yeah, I am too. Actually, there's several of us flying over from the Netherlands that'll be there. So, yeah, sounds good.
And we're
So-
going to try to do like a family vacation, and Caleb and Mike are going to come along, and
Great.
we just have to figure out if it's going to be on the front end or on the back end that they come and
Right.
are there. So, because Caleb's been asking for Disney World for about 2 years, so we're like, it's time.
Yeah, he's old enough now, I think.
Yeah, he's old enough now.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions? I think we're going to shut off in a couple of minutes or seconds, but we can log back on if anybody has questions or wants to discuss anything.